Hi guys, this week we are doing inspirational word art. So here are some examples. Hashtag courage. So you're going to find a word that you are inspired by, and it could even be a slang, or it could be a word that you're passionate about. It could be a sport or a hobby, something trending that you feel strongly about, that you are going to go on a scavenger hunt and you're going to find all around your world. So this is an example of dream. You can find 3D lettering. You can find lettering on stores. You can find lettering on signs and on logos, clothing, shoes, books. There's so much lettering. You can also manipulate it where, as you can see here, this student decided to make their lettering themselves by using different sculptural items around their neighborhood. So find a word that you think will be cool. Must be a minimum of 4 letters to create a word, like hope or love. And then you're going to go around and you're going to take photographs of it, and then you will be putting them together into a compilation that will create one entire word. Here's another example of a different type where you're creating your own lettering. You also don't have to have it all lined up together. It can stagger like this. You can see some of them are not quite in focus, so definitely try to make sure you're photographing things in focus. It is better to take it a little further away if you're not having an autofocus than to go and make it too blurry. So you can always zoom in and crop it, just make sure it's in focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these as an example, but I'm going to skip ahead to where, I've already taken my pictures. I've already figured out what, word I'm going to do, and I'm going to then download them so that I can use them. You will need to either upload them into Google Drive, or you can upload from Google Classroom. If you submit them, re-download them, and then submit again when you do your final put together. So I've downloaded, you can see they're here, but they show up in your download folder, whether you're using a PC, a Mac, or your Chromebook. And then I'm going to go to Pixlr.com. We're just using Playful X for now. And I'm going to open my images first. If you decide you want to, you're going to find your new download. If you decide you want to crop them ahead of time in your phone, be my guest. If you're going to crop around this G or this N and you're like, I've got this, I'm going to crop it ahead of time, then save yourself a step, that's fine. But otherwise, you're going to open them and you're going to use this crop button, 3 down, and you're going to go through and crop them and resave them. Here we go, that's my N. I'm going to hit enter, and I have this saved. So I'm going to save it as N, high, JPEG, download it, and that's going to download as my N. So I'll put that together in the end. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back to home, rinse and repeat. Oh, I want to create new. So obviously that was the same word. Open image. Let me get the next one. I'm going to use, maybe this was a Target sign, and I'm going to crop to the O. That should have been an O, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to do one more just to open image, dream, create new, apply, and I'm going to crop my R here. I'm not really making a word for this example just because I hit enter. I'm just showing you save, R, download. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the home screen, and instead of opening, I'm going to hit create new because I need to start new in order to compile all of them together. So I'm going to put word, art, or you can choose the word you selected, hope, happiness, silly, crackers, cheese, whatever your inspirational word is. So with this, think about this as a normal image. Full HD 1900 by 1000 is essentially like a good 8 by 10 photograph. So I'm going to have to make this a little longer because I know my word is going to be longer than that. So 2600 usually can get the job done. You can always make that longer if you need to, or you can adjust it and crop it smaller later on. And 1000 should be okay, but I'm going to actually change it to 800 just to shrink it because I know my lettering, my word is going to be longer and my height is going to be shorter. So I'm going to create, and you can see here, that's pretty long. So I have plenty of surface to work with. I would like my background to be black. If you decide you can change that, if you want to change that, that's fine. So I'm going to go to drawing here, and I'm going to go to a square tool. If this covers, you can always adjust your zoom. That happened to me on a different computer. It just depends on how much surface you have. So I brought it down. So shape tool, I chose my square, and I brought it way down to my black. And then I'm gonna create a black background. And I'm gonna exit out of that. Now I need to put in my images. So down below here, add image. I've got to browse and find it. This should be very quickly to pop up. I'll just do Ron. I don't know, someone's name is Ron somewhere. Add to current instead of opening new, and you can adjust this however you want, but as you're going to see over here, your new layers are going to be added. So think of these like panes of glass, and they're going to be stacked one on top of each other. In the future, if you need to erase through to show through underneath, or have multiple layers, this automatically does it if you add to current. I'm going to keep going. And you can stagger them if you want, just like that one image showed, but I like to personally do it like this. And then I'm going to add one more for my last. You all need to have a minimum of 4. And then if you have a very, very long word, then perhaps you can shrink these so that they all fit in. Okay? And then either move it so that you have, a little bit of background and a little bit of space, and you can crop it afterwards so you have a little bit of border, and hit enter. Or I'm going to undo, and I am going to crop it so that it's very clean without a border, and that's up to you 100%. Whatever you prefer works for me. Enter, and now I'm going to save this, and this is what I'm going to hand in for my Google Classroom assignment. So you would go to Google Classroom, you would go to the top right, and you would find the Submit File button, and then you would submit your final image. Just the image only, please, not in a Google slide or a doc, the image itself. And if you have trouble selecting file, I would suggest you save and put this image into your Google Classroom or Google Drive, and then you can upload it easily to Classroom. Thank you, everyone.